Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Unsportsmanlike Content. We are live inside Real Sports Bar and Grill, and we are also live inside Scotiabank Arena tonight. It is the Lightning, it is the Leafs, game number 2 of this 5-game homestand for Toronto, and very much looking forward to it, and very much looking forward to my co-host, if you will, and guest. And we were former colleagues together.
Sure.
Christine Simpson is here, and Chris, you've worn so many hats, and I want to get into that. But now you are the features reporter for Prime Monday Night Hockey. How you doing?
I'm great. It's
Yeah?
so wonderful to see you again, as you said, former colleagues. I'm used to watching you guys, you and Mayday. I have been
Have you?
highly
So you're the one.
entertained. I am one of
appreciate it.
millions, I am sure. And you've had some pretty amazing guests. I
Yes.
mean, like Gary Bettman. I've seen
Mish.
Will Arnett, Wendell Clark. I mean, I
And
feel
you.
honored to be in this seat.
We are honored to have you. You and I, of course, work together at Sportsnet. In and around, we were in different areas, but I think this is the first time we've ever worked together, so thanks.
Exactly. Well, thank you for the invitation.
It is awesome to have you. I want to get into a number of things. You talked about the guests that we've had. You get a chance to interview some of the very best games, best names in all of hockey and all of sport, be it broadcasters, be it athletes, you name it. I do also want to mention that it is Armed Forces Night here tonight, so we will see a lot of that throughout the entire game, in-house and throughout. So that's worth mentioning. But back to some of the things you're working on. You had the opportunity. Why don't we just go as recently as last night, since we're talking about the Tampa Bay Lightning?
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about yesterday? Because when John Cooper's around, there's a lot of different directions you can go with that guy. He, of course, the head coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning. But maybe as far as this conversation is concerned, we can talk about the head coach of Canada's Olympic team.
Yeah.
He's a big personality. He is a successful coach. He is a charismatic gentleman. And I wonder what you can share about your conversation with him as little snippets of that may appear tonight in your broadcast?
Yes, yeah, at the start of the show tonight, because I did ask him a bit about his team, the Tampa Bay Lightning, obviously with them being here. And, they have had a bit of a revolving door in their roster with the injuries they've had.
Yes.
So a little bit of that will air tonight at the beginning of the show. But I also had a chance to talk to him as he's wearing his other hat, the head coach of Team Canada. And so that will be a feature that will air closer to the Olympics in January. But, as you said, John Cooper, one of the best interviews in the game, just such a lovely guy. And
I heard he was ripping on some of the crew, like hey, what do you having, nachos back there? Oh, hey,
right.
Everything, how are the headsets?
You know
he
him.
just doesn't miss a beat.
You always need to be aware when he is in the room because you just never know where it's going to go. But yeah, so you'll see a little bit of him tonight, but I'm really excited about what we talked about as it pertains to Team Canada and as, the excitement of the Four Nations face-off, which kind of, I think, got everybody's juices flowing for, oh, wow.
It didn't matter where you were.
Exactly.
Because that's the break. Some guys were watching from Mexico, Hawaii.
I know.
Some people were watching at home. Some people were coming to the game. Some people were here at Real Sports.
I was here at Real Sports.
Yeah.
I was at a table actually up there watching the final game, and this place absolutely erupted when Team Canada won. And as he was saying, it was just sort of the perfect storm. He said the same that I was kind of thinking myself. Remember before the tournament started, it was kind of like,
I'm with you.
What is this thing again? Sorry, Four Nations? It's not an all-star. It's not a World Cup of hockey.
Not Olympics. It's not involving everybody.
Exactly. So I think everyone was, and he was even saying, we didn't know what to expect. It was this sort of, new animal. Well, then it took about a few minutes into the first game where everyone got up to speed. And then, of course, for it to be a Canada-U.S. final.
The political
given
climate.
Everything that is going on in North America these days, you just couldn't have written a better script. And as he said, talk about, the excitement of that spilling over to Milan. It's lovely, just the timing of it, God. I think wet everyone's whistles for what we're going to be seeing in Milan.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect either. And now, kind of like what we saw with Four Nations, there was all the chatter about whatever it was, political or what is this thing. Now the talk coming into the Olympics is the rink going to be ready? So there's all this sort of conversation, if you will, about whatever it is that hopefully lends itself to more, I don't know, drama, fireworks, an explosion of the game, because it didn't matter if you were American or Canadian. And I know Coop was front and center in terms of hearing all those conversations.
Absolutely.
You were dialed into that, and now you hope for even more international banter about this thing.
Absolutely, and you're right. There's certainly drama going on now. We know the rink is going to be a little smaller than everybody expected. Still not quite sure how that happened. No. But it's, as we even said in the interview, hey, it's all the same ice everybody needs to play on. So, you kind of can't worry about that other than let's hope the rink is ready.
And he played in the bubble, and, there were some detractors, and he won in the bubble.
Yes.
There were some people who sort of said, that was a fake stand. That might have been even harder. And I agree. I was up there, and I'm sure you were involved. I mean, I was on the Western side of things. Yeah. That was hard on those players, those coaches, those athletes. It was
remember,
nuts.
I was on this side of things. I remember being rinkside reporter, but being up on the third level in an empty arena.
Doing 3 games a day.
Exactly, doing 3 games a day. And when doing the player interviews, I've got a headset. They've got a headset on 3 floors below. They don't even see me. They hear my voice coming out of a little speaker.
Yeah.
It was the most bizarre scenario. And as you know, being in that empty arena, you could hear everything that was being said on there, which was actually kind of fascinating.
It was weird. I think that guy's got the sniffles.
Weird. I know.
It was really weird.
Isn't it wonderful to be back with a full arena and being able to enjoy it this way?
And that momentum that you touched on as far as the Four Nations, you hope that they can capture that again. The wonderful part in all of this is that the game has so many superstars on not just both sides of the border, but across the hockey landscape. Yeah. This thing, and it certainly wouldn't be lost on Coop and his staff, and I know he and Hockey Canada have had a lot of conversations, and we're getting close to decision time.
Big decisions to be made. As you said, everybody has their opinion, and I'm sure everyone is giving him their opinions as to what should happen. But
I may have,
no matter what. No, I figured I'd give him a break. Although he did say, you could have 2 full rosters of Team Canada. There are just so many great players, obviously, in this country.
And you think about, okay, well, I want this guy. Well, who's coming out? That's the biggest conversation. Who comes out?
And that's the thing. He
Your
said,
defense is probably staying the same.
You can't just look at the top, 20 scorers that are from Canada and say, there's our team. It does not work that way. And you saw it at Four Nations. You see it in a All-Star game, international tournament. It's what role do they need to play? What kind of guy do you need?
It's a very important point, and that's where I think he's had his finger on the pulse of that, because he's coached some of his players, I know, in Tampa, Cirelli. You need penalty killers. You need guys who are not going to be foreign to that role and are embracing it.
Absolutely.
So we'll see what the Leafs can do against John Cooper tonight and the Lightning. Obviously, both teams have had some injuries. It looks as though they are going to have Kucherov back in the lineup, which that guy's maybe one of the most underrated players. Toronto will have their hands full with him.
And after just getting Hedman back last game, too, for them.
Right.
So,
Brayden
they are
Point.
getting healthier for sure.
Really good. So, lots to get to on the matchup itself, which I can get into later. But I want to talk a little bit about your career because, I think when people see you, you've become synonymous with a wonderful feature with not just information that maybe we didn't know, but the ability to pull out the personality that we don't see in a scrum. And I know that's the gift that you have, but that's also what the point of it is. Let's see these people. Let's tell their story. And I wonder when you first realized, this is a route I really enjoy, and it's working.
Well, it's funny because, I was a day oneer at Sportsnet back in 1998, where as a brand new network, we were kind of doing everything. So I was thrown into the fire. My first real official job as a broadcaster. And I give so much credit for those who are around the teams every single day, like you, because you are there every day having to ask the questions on a daily basis that you need to ask. I found what I enjoyed more was away from the day-to-day, away from the breaking it
Bigger
down.
picture.
Away from the rink, quite literally. And I don't know if it even stems from the fact that my brother Craig played in the NHL. I've always been fascinated by people and what their stories are and what their path was to get to where they are. So I was fortunate that within that first year at Sportsnet, because I was a beat reporter that first year, and that was probably the toughest job I ever had. And then when I started, pitching ideas to really sit down and talk to players about something beyond just their career, I don't know, it just felt comfortable for me, and for whatever reason felt comfortable for them. And I will say some of my favorite feature stories that I've done, we're not even talking about the game. We're talking about some aspect of a player's life that I think no matter who you are watching at home, you can identify with and say, oh, wow, I know what that guy's going through.
Right.
Or I feel for him because I can see that it wasn't an easy path. It always looks just so exciting, all the fame and fortune, but as we well know, there's always a story behind everyone.
Yeah, and it's not just hockey. You had a chance to sit down with Al Michaels. What can you share with that conversation? Because I think a lot of people would love to be a fly on the wall for that one.
It was fascinating. I felt very fortunate to be able to talk to Al. Now, I think everyone who knows Al Michaels, I mean, you think of him as football, and obviously he is still doing football for Prime. He does Thursday night football. So I actually flew to Houston, Texas, where he was doing a Texans football game. But the reason I was there, we all know him from the Miracle on Ice, Lake Placid, 1980. But what I think a lot of people didn't realize is who his broadcast partner was at that Olympics, and it was Ken Dryden. And I had seen, Al talk a little bit about, after Ken passed, just about his relationship with him. And luckily I could sit down and really delve into more about their relationship and how it all began in 1980. But that was the first of 3 Olympic Games that they worked together.
So that's something. I didn't know that.
Sarajevo in 84 and then in Calgary in 88. And I remember asking Al, first of all, gosh, how much hockey had you why did you end up doing hockey at that?
Boxing.
He had done almost every sport in the book. And he said, well, when they looked at the crew of broadcasters we had for that Olympics, I had called one hockey game 8 years before that. But he said it was one more game than Howard Cosell or Keith Jackson or Frank Gifford had done. So automatically I became the hockey broadcaster. The cool thing was, too, he is a huge hockey fan. He's a season ticket holder for the LA Kings. We just, after the interview was done, we stayed and talked hockey even more. John Cooper told me yesterday that he ran into Al Michaels on a golf course, and he's just a huge fan of his and want to go up and introduce himself. And Al Michaels is like, I know who you are. You're 2-time Stanley Cup champ. You're the head coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning. So John was just so excited that he even knew who he was. But no, honestly, it was just such a privilege to get to talk to Al and to be able to talk to him about his relationship with Ken Dryden, who was one of my favorite people from his time here.
Was there one takeaway about he and Ken that really stuck with you?
You are going to have to watch
there it is.
the
I
feature
knew I would,
in the
I knew I'd walk
first
up the line
intermission
and
of
dip
the
a toe
Prime
over it.
broadcast
Yes, all right.
tonight.
Oh, we're excited to see that, hear that. That'd be a great conversation. Well done. That's a good get, as
Thank
they
you.
say. That's
Appreciate
wonderful.
that.
Okay, you mentioned your brother a moment ago, and I would imagine the way hockey is in the family, it just runs through all of you guys. So I wonder when you knew you wanted to be involved in the game. Watching your brother Craig, who I've had a chance to work with, and you have that. What a neat, we go into hours of stories about that. But when it really registered for you that, because at the time, I mean, it wasn't the same opportunity as it is now.
Yeah.
And you were, dare I say, a trailblazer in those departments. And coming on with a new network is one thing, but to back it up, to think that you had a shot at doing it, watching your brother, how did you tie it all together?
Well, anyone who asks, how did you get into doing this job, I really do say it goes back to being the middle sister between actually 2 hockey-playing brothers. My brother Dave played as well, was a draft pick of the New York Islanders way back in the day. So being around hockey was always normal to me. But as you said, when I was watching Hockey Night in Canada, there were no women there. So it wasn't like I thought that could be a career path. But when I was working actually at the Hockey Hall of Fame, and so for the first time, my professional life involved hockey. While I was there, I was hired by the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Here we go.
History. In the history.
And I think we've got some photos, if I'm not mistaken.
Here we go. Okay.
What is happening here,
I think
Chris?
that was at the Leaf Luncheon. Yep, there's Mike Murphy in the front and Daryl Sittler. I think it was one of those Meet the Leafs luncheons. In 1995, while I was still working at the Hockey Hall of Fame, the Leafs hired me as their very first in-arena host. And actually, I love that picture. That was my trivia contestant that night, and I don't know if you can tell who that is. That's Roger Clemens. That was the day that Roger Clemens signed with the Toronto Blue Jays. They had just brought him in to Toronto. So I'm just standing there in the stand, and it's time for, I think it was the Bell Trivia Contest. I'm here with my contestant, Roger. How are you, Roger? Of course, there we are with Carl in the bed.
Sure.
So I guess it was, really at that point in time, I mean, this was not hard-hitting journalism, but I had a microphone in my hand.
Yeah.
I was getting used to talking live in front of 18,000 people every game night.
And great hair still, now. Like your brother, too.
Great hair, I'm not so sure,
Straight
but
envy
hair.
over here. The whole family.
Sorry to bring up the hair talk.
What are your secrets? Tell me. Great salad. I've always admired. I just want to run my hands through it. Not yours, your brother's, of course.
Okay.
We're live.
We are live. I'll leave that. I'll just leave that one.
Yeah.
But it was more, that gave me the opportunity to say, hey, maybe there's something I could do here. And, my job at the Hall of Fame, I would often be interviewed about the Hall of Fame. I'd have crews come in to do stories on the Hall. So I guess I just got more comfortable talking around hockey, with Television World. And then when Sportsnet launched in 1998, I remember putting together a VHS tape of basically me being interviewed, and somehow they saw something in me that said, let's give this woman a chance.
That is great. What were your brother's reaction to knowing that, okay, now our sister's going to be in the game?
I think,
right?
I think as every family member always is, very proud.
Yes.
And of course, you might quietly be rooting for a certain team, but as you know, we're always very neutral, especially when you're a national broadcaster.
People don't know that, right? They think that you all you're caring for is a good show.
I can tell you, I'll never forget wearing. Funny story. I was doing a game in New York, a Rangers game, and it was the Pittsburgh Penguins playing at Madison Square Garden. My luggage never arrived. So day of the game, all of a sudden, I have to find something to wear. I'm walking to Madison Square Garden. I buy an outfit that happens to be yellow and black. And of course, I'm not even thinking. I'm doing a Ranger game against the Pittsburgh Penguins, and I see Ron Duguay pregame. He was doing stuff with the
Speaking of great
MSG.
hair.
Speaking of great hair, he takes the cake for all of us.
Now that's lettuce.
Ron Duguay looks at me and says, "Oh, geez, I know who you are rooting for tonight."
Oh, no, Chris.
So I learned my lesson. No matter what game or what interview I was doing, I had to make sure that I tried to dress as neutral as possible, or somebody at home is going to say, "Well, clearly, look who she's rooting for." As if I can impact the outcome of a game by my outfit.
I think it's great. And you always look fantastic. And most importantly, you're always getting the great stories that we've talked about. And now just to see this kind of evolution and this new chapter of your career, do you allow yourself to kind of, man, this might make a good book one day? Or, maybe a...
Well,
you've done a lot of cool things.
Just means I've been around a long time.
Yeah, I
will
into
say
that one.
Hey, I'm very proud. I'm proud of what I've been able to do. I'm even more proud when I have young women come up and say, I remember watching you when I was a little girl, and it made me think that I could do that too.
Yeah.
And so many of them are. That to me just makes it all worthwhile, that it isn't an anomaly anymore. It is just par for the course.
Did you have a moment, I don't know, where you kind of went, oh, this is a cool media moment where I know I've kind of made it? You mentioned Hockey Night in Canada. I don't know if it was when you first interacted with, say, Bob Cole, or you had a show where, maybe it was you and I were chatting a moment ago off camera about the all-female broadcast. But I wonder if there was a moment that really has stuck with you, or is like, this is either the coolest conversation I've done with the coolest guest, or a moment where the bright lights really stayed with you?
There are so many, and it is almost like picking a favorite child. It's kind of impossible.
But we all do.
But there you go. Just don't let your kids know.
Yeah.
But one thing I'll never forget that was so cool was that, remember the very first outdoor game in Edmonton? And they had the alumni game before the game against Montreal. That was when Jose Theodore had the toque over his mask, right? So way back when. For the alumni game, my brother was playing with Wayne Gretzky, and I remember morning skate for them, the alumni game, and after the skate, hopping on the ice and doing an interview with my brother and Wayne Gretzky before like an historic game, because outdoor games, which are common now, that really was the first one. And I mean, that's outside of Stanley Cup finals and All-Star games and all of that, but it's coldest I've ever been in my life. Coldest I have ever been. But that was one of the coolest experiences, because to your point, it combined, hey, I'm so proud of my brother, and, for them to get all of those guys back together again that was one of those outdoor games where, frankly, the alumni game was way more exciting than the regular season
Massive
game was.
Massive names, too, yeah.
But, yeah, I could be here forever if I were to go through my list of favorite people that I've gotten to interview.
Maybe we'll maybe have you back and we can get into that and do a deep dive on that. But I want to thank everybody inside Scotiabank Arena tonight for keeping an eye on this conversation. We appreciate you stopping by to share it with us. It is Armed Forces Night here, but also you have to join our tradition as Sean Bowen routinely brings in the oversized hat. No Ty Domi jokes, not allowed, because we've done that. But you have to sign that. We're going to auction this off for charity at the end of the season. There's some big names on there, and we're very pleased
honored
to have yours.
Thank you.
Christine, thank you so much. Lovely as always. Thanks for stopping by.
Great to have you here in Toronto, and you're doing a great job, so keep up the great work.
It's the vodka.
Cheers.
All right, we'll take a break, but while we say take a break, it's because we're going to have a conversation with John Tavares this morning. Have a look. Okay, John, right back at it against Tampa. It's been a tough schedule, but of late your group has found a lot of positives. What is the one thing, either from the road or even against Montreal, that you like, that you want to keep going?
Yeah, just doing a better job of maybe when momentum's not going our way, just kind of digging in, sticking together, and not letting the score get away from you, and keeping yourself in the game to give yourself a chance, whether you're up or you're down. We've had good contributions throughout our lineup, so just kind of see some identity starting to build, I think, a little more consistently, which has been good. So, no matter the way the game goes, just sticking with it and giving yourself a chance. Certainly late, maybe when you don't always have your best, or you're on a long road trip like we were, coming back home after a long road trip was sometimes can be tough games. So, just the way the identity is coming together, and I'd say our ability to kind of weather the storm when moments in the game when you're obviously on your heels.
On the shorthanded side, we saw Scott Lawton just step into one, just wired it. What was your reaction when you saw him do that and pull it off?
Obviously, the vibes on the bench were great. It was a big goal. We're pumped up, but I think more than anything, it brought an amazing chuckle just because the character that Lottie is, and just how much he loves the group and how hard he competes on a nightly basis. And I think probably everything he's gone through on the injury side of things to start the year, to score a big goal like that, see the emotion from him, was an amazing moment. Obviously, unfortunately, we didn't complete the win, but to get the point was big. And it was a hell of a play. We got a good chuckle out of that one.
I love it. And the other thing you've got to be encouraged by is the play of Dennis Hildeby. How can you guys continue to, support him as he gets more and more comfortable?
Yeah, I think just like our game in general, we've at times, I think given up too many point blank or grade A chances, and we've done a much better job with some of the adjustments, and I think our execution's been more consistent. Getting back to some of the habits, things that we saw from the group last year that the coaching staff brought in. It was a little bit different than things that we had in the past. So just really insulating things to allow him be the goalie that he is. He doesn't have to, try to be more than the goalie that he is, which is obviously with his size and his movement, his calmness. Not asking him to do everything. We got to do a good job in front of him and make it predictable. And when you do that, it's amazing how the game comes naturally to him, but to any goalie.
Really appreciate the time. Thanks for this, and good luck against Tampa tonight.
Thanks, Ryan.
Okay, there was John Tavares speaking about a number of topics, including what you just heard him touch on at the very end there, and that was Dennis Hildeby, who's 1-2-1 on the season. He had 34 saves against the Habs on Saturday, but I think what's really standing out for people watching his game, including Craig Berube and his teammates, is that the poise has been there. Not only is he a big goaltender, but he's been very poised. He's a very calm, cerebral-like goaltender back there. And it's really shown. It's shown that he has been able to handle the moments. I keep going back to a few games ago when he was just talking about, when he came on in relief, about his breathing. That was one of the focal points when he first got between the pipes for Toronto. He was talking about his breathing, getting himself set, getting himself calm and ready for the moment. And he has shown with every opportunity that he gets in there, be it a start or in relief, that he has been rock solid, and he is giving them everything he has. So we'll keep an eye on him. He gets in between the pipes once again tonight against Tampa. We can also tell you that Dakota Mermis and Calle Yarncroke are going to draw into the lineup tonight for Toronto. That means Phil Myers and Nick Robertson will come out. The opponent, as we know, the Tampa Bay Lightning, boy, they've had some injuries as well, but they're getting some bodies back as well. And we, of course, are talking about, well, we heard Chris talk about the idea that Victor Hedman came back last game, so he is going to return. So too is Nikita Kucherov, dangerous player that Toronto will be certainly mindful of. He has to be one of the main focuses. He's got 9 points in his last 5 games. And then the Calgary boy, Braden Point, will also be in the lineup tonight. So the dangerous Stars are back for Tampa. They're getting healthier. They've gone on some big winning streaks. They're, of course, tops. When you look at the standings, they're a team that is right up there, expect to be right up there, especially when healthy. So no Vasilevsky, but everybody else looks like they're starting to get a whole lot healthier. So it is the Lightning. It is the Leafs. We want to thank Christine Simpson from Prime Hockey, Monday Night Hockey, and certainly for John Tavares stopping by with us as well. So enjoy the game. A big thank you to everybody tuning in across all Maple Leaf platforms tonight here at Real Sports Bar and Grill, as well as inside Scotiabank Arena and all Leaf platforms, as we say. You've been watching Unsportsmanlike content. My name is Ryan Leslie, and enjoy the game tonight, everyone.